Well, I'd say that, as y'all may have come to see, there's probably been a thing or two we left off from the last time. I did tell you all it was probably the end of the series as far as carving and sanding of the cardinals went, but there's probably a little thing I'd like to show here as well. And I looked at a picture to kind of get where I was going to draw these little details in to make kind of like these parts around the cardinal's face. And with little work like this we do, I say that this is just little ways it's going to come about. And now I tell y'all that there comes a little moment where we're going to draw on the little bill and make that for the little cardinal and kind of try to put it in where it's going to fit. And I say just make little lines to make little places where the bill comes to the side, and kind of try to, well, I'd say we've come so far getting about this. I say we got a little work done there. I'd say we're going to try to work the next little part in just the way we can and try to make it so we're going to see how the eye and the chest are going to come out here, and make it so we're going to see how old Cardinal is going to make its way to us. Oh, and I say, oh, a little work to come this way. We're going to try to make the other line to make the other side of the face, and try to put the little extra work down in where it goes. I say we kind of got this way. We have it here, and I've kind of drawn the line on one side, and I'm going to draw the lines about equal on the other side. So this is how we're going to come about with this. I say that this little work is coming a little bit extra ways. We kind of got little eyeballs to draw in here, so we're going to do that. You see how I kind of gave it the little shape for the eye and put the little circle in the middle. And I think we're going to try to do this for every one of these. So for this moment, there's probably going to be little random things we'll talk about here and share here. And I'd say that I've even known some people who have even said that cardinals were their favorite creatures and their favorite birds and things like that. And I've kind of would say I've sort of made some from plum wood, made some from Paduke, but they were not of the carved type. They were of the type where I would just kind of cut them out, little shapes on a scroll saw, and just, let's say, put them on a stump just to be standing. Oh, and I say that this is just how we work along. Oh, well, and when we kind of come down to this, we're just going to make it where we're going to see the beak come through, make it so we're going to see how the work shall make itself turn out. Oh, work is just kind of like what we have in our hearts and minds. It's always just the thing where we've kind of got to brighten our own little worlds. You see, I've got the beaks on both, and there's a place here where we're going to draw another little line to kind of make the side of the head where it's supposed to be, and that's what we did right here by matching these two up together, and carry the line over here to the other side as well, and see this little time when we're working our way about this, it's like, oh, a little time and work to go. I say this is just one of those things where we're going to try to kind of make the little ways around the little chest of the cardinal here, and we draw the line here from kind of lining it up with this like this, and then kind of make it so we kind of take the same line and kind of go about equally to the other side here. See how a little work is making its way along, and I say that this is just the thing that we've got here, all the things that a little work is going to be when it kind of comes down to what we see, what we have. And here we kind of got the little lines made out, and we're going to try to do it on this last one here too. Try to make the similar lines in the similar places. Oh, I tell y'all that all this time and work, it's getting really exotic sometimes, and you know, there gets to be those days when we see a little work in places and so much more of it we'd like to do ourselves. I tell you, I just think about how it was, you know, having that lady buy those bulks of cardinals from me that she painted herself and sold in her gift shop. Would be so nice if we could always get business like that. You know, it'd probably be like a little extra money to make in the long run if you could. And, you know, the time when I get done with this work, it's going to be extra special to me, for sure. A lot of people say it sure is to them. And this little time got a little drawing lines, making it so that the cardinals shall see a little bright day and bright light. Oh, and I say that we're going to try to pencil in little lines to make out the little eyes we see, and oh, I tell y'all that this is just the work of the feather of all creation. You know, sometimes there's been times I've done little research. I've thought about the cardinal bird and then thought about how there's the cardinal office in the Vatican. Sometimes I've wondered if there was any connection between the two, and probably have at times done online research to try to find that out, and wasn't always sure what it was. I mean, don't really know which one had the name for longer, but I've heard there's plenty of people who don't really make that connection. They don't really think about the fact that it is a common name that both have. And as it comes down to this, I'll say that there's probably going to be little extra lines to be burnt in, so we've kind of got to take care of this as best as we can. And I say that we've kind of got it where we've kind of got the right lines in, and I'd say that we're going to try to make little lines as soon as this pin heats up and burn in these little eyes. And that is what we do here. Kind of take it where it's going to need to be. And it's just kind of like how we're going to take these eyes in just little bits by little bits, just to kind of make it so we see the bright little shape that's in them. And I've even done enough research and pictures to really kind of get an idea of what a cardinal's eye actually looks like. And oh, I tell y'all, stories after stories after stories. I kind of think back on my grandfather and how birds often made me think of him. All the types of bird feeders he had in his yard. When we went to North Carolina to see him, sometimes I kind of think back on how he had those purple martin feeders. I heard about that. Even while he was visiting with us my first grade year, we learned about these birds in school and heard a lot of that stuff in class. I think we're going to try to kind of make the outline of the little beaky here, and we'll say that, of course, this might even just get to be painted orange, because cardinals have orange beaks even though they have red bodies. And I decided to kind of go lightly on the lines around here, around the edge of the beak, to make it so it's going to be nice and neat and smooth. I say, oh, like work shall find a way to make its way in us. And I tell y'all that a little work shall brighten us up, change us all for the good and for the better. And maybe even to that matter, try to turn the heat up a little bit, try to make it so it's probably going to have better lines to come, and try to make it so it's going to be the way it really needs to be and ought to be. And I tell you, when you think about the smell you get from this wood burner, makes me think of the time my sister was down here in this basement while she was visiting us from Texas, and heard her asking my dad if I lit a match down here. No, it wasn't a lit match, but I'm here to tell you all something, people. This wood burner can almost make it smell like you did. And so I say that with all the ways we kind of got this little beak around here, we're making it so it's going to be showing its best lines and making us see how it shall really, really, really be able to, for the better, all turn out. Oh, I tell y'all, like a lot of work involved in this. I say work all day, and things are eventually at some point going to pay off. I'd say that we kind of got to work on this next one here. You see how we've kind of burnt along this line here. You can kind of do the lines in different orders even as you go about it. Doesn't necessarily have to be in the same little order every time you do it, but it'll just kind of work you out for the better the longer you kind of take into it and see what kind of work you put into it. I'd say that this is how we go about this time of work. Oh, I say, oh, the lines involved, and cannot press too hard on these wood burners or else you'll ruin the tip of the pin. Got one more to go when it comes to the area around the beak, so we're gonna take care of that right now. And try to like make the line so it's gonna take away a little extra time that works its way up in our poor hands. Oh, and I say this little work is just kinda brightening us up. Oh, to see brighter, more easier, more comfortable days. I say that it's just kinda like a little extra work that comes in your poor hands. And I say that there's going to be another step we might take right now and do it with the other pin here. We're going to take this little curve point pin like artists use to sign their names and decide we're going to take that and like burn in the circle that makes up the pupil of the eye. Oh, and I say, oh, work, make its way to us. Maybe try to go around the oval of the eye as well, I say, and get this much detail done in. There's also little things we're going to work about here. Put the little line in there and kind of try to take it so it's going to be a little work to do. Oh, the little cardinal and how this is going to come about. And then got one more circle to make. We just made it in there. Got one more eye to go and one more on the other side. And that was probably kind of a little bit of a misuse of words maybe, because after all we do have one more bird left to go, so gotta kind of make the eye into that and make it into the other side as well. Try to make it so we're going to brighten out the eyes and see nice little cardinals coming our way. And I say that work is done, at least for now. We've got probably a few more things to take. We're probably going to come back and do a little painting on these guys, but that'll be for the next video. Thank you for watching. Take care.